Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Eileen Amor Bautista, and I am the Senior Vice President of the Business Development and Communications Group of the Credit Information Corporation. And for today's session, we're going to talk about the mandate of the Credit Information Corporation, what we do, what are the updates as a public credit registry, and our topic will revolve around assessing one's creditworthiness in the new normal. So, briefly, before we proceed about what the updates of the Credit Information Corporation now is, we have been created by law, Republic Act number 9510, or the Credit Information System Act. And the mandate is to receive data, and there has to be submission of borrowers' credit data, and that is now mandatory. So when this law was created, all the institutions providing credit facilities should regularly submit basic credit data of their clients or borrowers to this registry. And this is a government-owned and controlled corporation. So the objectives of creating CIC as a public credit registry is to lower the interest rates in the Philippines and to lessen or to avoid collateral. And this would ultimately improve access to credit. So currently, the database of the CIC has 22,846,786. And these are unique individuals. These are unique borrowers that all those borrowers, consumers who have loan transactions with financial institutions have been captured now by our system. So we began our submission in 2015. So from zero, we grew our database to this number now. And this is really unique individuals. And for companies that are in our database, we have 89,247 borrowers and companies who have been captured by our database. And there are submitting entities as referred to in the law, and these are those that are providing credit facilities, such as but not limited to government lending institutions, government-owned and controlled corporations, such as the Government Service Insurance System, Social Security System, and even the Small Business Corporation as AJOCC is also mandated to submit data to the CIC. And all those commercial banks, universal banks, rural banks, thrift banks, credit card companies, financing companies, investment houses, insurance companies, cooperatives, trust entities, if they are providing loans, they are mandated by law to submit the basic credit data of their borrowers to the CIC. And currently, the CIC has 534 submitting entities in production that are submitting live or actual data. So the CIC currently is the most diverse credit database in the Philippines. It's the most robust, having this number of individuals in the database, and having this huge number of institutions, financial institutions that are submitting actual live data to the system. And the mandate, as provided also under the law, is those who are submitting data may also access data. And the law works on the principle of reciprocity. So the accessing entity, as referred also under Republic Act number 9510, are those entities that are submitting, or any other entity authorized by the CIC to access basic credit data from it. And the paid access phase of the CIC started in September 2019. And having this type of diverse database in the Philippines is not very easy because collection has to start from those financial institutions. So when we started collecting data in 2015, we've populated the database, and currently we have 79 accessing entities. And these are those that are using the database of the CIC when they assess the borrowers or their borrowers before they extend any loans. So we have Home Credit, Union Bank of the Philippines, PS Bank, Equicom Savings Bank, ING Bank, Sterling Bank of Asia, PNB, Toyota Financial Services, Small Business Corporation, even BDO and BPI are now accessing entities of the CIC. And the list of those submitting data to the CIC can be found in the website, creditinfo.gov.ph. So the list of those submitting entities and those that are accessing the data of the CIC are listed on the database on the website of the CIC. So we also have the CIC credit report, which contains consolidated positive and negative credit data and the other relevant information as submitted by financial institutions. The beauty of having this submission to the CIC and having this public credit registry in the Philippines is that now the system does not only capture those negative information, but because of the enactment of the law, it also requires submission both of positive and negative data. And it also creates and allows borrowers to create financial footprint. So even if they do not have any formal lending transactions with any of these financial institutions, they can still create a reputation or what we call the reputational collateral as they are having these loan transactions with these financial institutions. And over time, they can also create that financial credit footprint. And the credit report of the CIC reflects basic personal information, the identification cards, detailed financial contracts, credit card records, among others. And having this type of credit report that was the CIC provides is different from a credit score because a credit score is one that's a value-added service which our credit bureaus provides, and the mandate also of the CIC is to accredit credit bureaus that are mainly engaged in providing credit scores and portfolio monitoring. So we have these accredited credit bureaus as part of the ecosystem of the CIC, and they are also referred to as the special accessing entities. They can access the data of the CIC, but of course, upon the consent of the data subject, upon the consent of the borrower, and they are also providing access and credit reports to those financial institutions that are submitting data. So access can be done directly to the CIC and through this special accessing entities. So we have CIBI Information Inc., our locally developed credit bureau in the Philippines, and we also have CRIF and TransUnion, which are already multinational credit bureaus. And they are providing credit scores and also providing portfolio review. So they make assessment, they assist the financial institutions in providing loans easier because of these type of products and value-added services that they have. And so how does the CIC ensure that consumer rights are protected amid this pandemic, COVID-19? And we've created the online dispute resolution process. So this enables the data subjects who obtain their credit reports to file a complaint or dispute on any erroneous, incomplete, or outdated information on their credit report already online, and disputes may be simple, complex, or highly technical. This is also aligned with the ease of doing business that provides assistance to borrowers, to consumers more expediently, and to make processes to expedite the processes. So a consumer, once he or she requests for his or her credit report, after looking at the credit report, if there are any erroneous information there, can make the necessary correction. And the good thing about this is that if a consumer has, let's say, 5 transactions with the 5 different banks or 5 different financial institutions, he or she does not even have to go to each of these institutions physically to make the necessary correction. But the borrower can just go online, go to the website of the CIC, and key on that website the transaction reference number of the credit report that was obtained by the consumer. So the Data Privacy Act of 2012 is also relevant to be mentioned because the uh, the the salient feature of having the Public Credit Registry or CIC in the Philippines is that it is outside the scope of the Data Privacy Act in terms of submission of data. So lenders, when they submit the data of the borrowers, they do not even have to get the consent of the borrowers, but they have to be notified that their information is being submitted to the CIC. And this is to avoid those instances when fraudulent borrowers would refuse for their information to be submitted in the database. But that being said, when an information is obtained or requested from the CIC, consent is still necessary. So there is a distinction between submitting data where consent is no longer necessary, but when the credit report is requested, the consent of the person whose credit report is being requested has to be obtained. And just to mention, Section 4, Paragraph E of the Privacy Act of 2012, that information necessary in order to carry out the functions of public authority, which includes the processing of personal data for the performance of the independent, central monetary authority, and law enforcement and regulatory agencies of their constitutionally and statutorily mandated functions. So nothing in this act shall be construed as to have amended or repealed Republic Act number 1405, otherwise known as the Secrecy of Bank Deposits Act, Republic Act number 6426, otherwise known as the Foreign Currency Deposit Act, and this one, the mandate of the CIC, which is Republic Act number 9510, otherwise known as the Credit Information System Act. And the CIC also, as credit registry, has existing partnerships for financial literacy as part of its role in promoting the benefits of data sharing and how it would also affect and protect the interest of the borrowers and the consumers. So we have partnerships with World Bank, with PERC, and UPAF as a grantee of the USAID. So they help us promote the responsibilities, the roles, and mandate of the CIC as a government-owned and controlled corporation. And the credit reports and credit application, they can now be accessed online. And this is also one of the developments that we have come up with in CIC. We have our accredited credit bureaus, and they have developed their these application, online application, where the borrower does not even have to leave the comforts of his or her home, but just can request for the credit report via this application. And just go to the website of the CIC, get your CIC credit report with credit score online. So the consumer has to may request the credit report by And it is with credit score already. So if you want to know your credit score, if you want to know the information about you that was submitted by the lenders with whom you have been transacting with, either before or currently, then it's best to check and see what these informations are. And you can just click and tick the box next to the name of the preferred SAE. So right now we have CIBI as the credit bureau that's providing consumer credit report. And the cost really vary depending on the fees that are imposed by these institutions. And so next slide, we just go to the drop down menu of the on the CIC website, get a CIC credit report. Just click that there, and you'll be directed to the page of the CIC where you can download and click this request. And since this request has to be ensured, this has to be made securely, safely, of course, to avoid any breach. And so to ensure that the person requesting for his or her credit report is really the person, is really one and the same person, the process involves scheduling of that person for the know your client purposes, and you'd be given a schedule on how you would and when you'd be able to get your credit report. So the CIBI also has to make sure that you're the one requesting for your own credit report. And if you go to our website, we're also posting there all the names and the list of the submitting institutions. And one of our services is also the online technical compliance workshop. So if you are a lender, you are extending loan, and so you're required by law to submit data to the CIC. And if you want to know more about submitting data to the CIC as a lender, as a financial institution, then you may also want to participate in our online technical compliance workshop. So the schedules are already posted on the website, and we do this virtually. And so you don't have to physically come to our office, and you can just go to our website, attend the schedule, and submit the requirements also as a submitting entity, so that we can make sure that you're also from a submitting entity or a financial institution. And for those who want to access the data of the CIC as a financial institution and as a submitting entity as well, all the requirements are also posted on the website, because we are only allowing access if the institution was able to submit 6 months worth of data. So we're also looking at that before we give any credentials for access. And we're also posting all the laws, the issuances, the circulars of CIC about the CIC and the updates. So please go to our website, and you may also like us on our Facebook, credit info that credit information corporation, and you may visit our website creditinfo.gov.ph. The cost of the CIC, if you are an institution submitting data and accessing data, the cost is right now at an introductory rate of 10 pesos per credit report until end of the year, until December 2020. However, those consumers, if you want to check and request for a credit report, the cost is also posted on our website as the fees being imposed by this by CIBI. So you can also check there how much does it cost. But for the online dispute resolution process, it is free, and we're hoping that everyone will also take advantage of knowing their credit report, their credit score, and make the necessary corrections through the online dispute resolution process, how you can correct and update this information so that next time when you apply for a loan, you'd really make sure the lender will be assured that you're also on time with your payments and you don't have any default. So these ends our presentation. So please visit our website. It's www.creditinfo.gov.ph. And you may also send us email if you have questions, concerns, clarifications, other than the questions that you'll be raising later after this forum. You can send us email to cic@creditinfo.gov.ph. And this is our Facebook link, creditinfo.gov.ph. And please add us also on Twitter, creditinfo.gov.ph. And we're also on LinkedIn. So any updates, the write-up materials about CAC are also available there. So with that, thank you. Good afternoon, and I'll be very willing to answer your questions about the mandate of the CAC, about the role of the CAC, and the financial ecosystem of the Philippines. Thank you.